gotta watch
Welcome
that
everyone. My name is
5 round
Alex
MMA,
Smith,
y'all.
alongside my co-host Albert Cita, and this is 5 Round MMA. We got Guillermo Cita on the phone. We'll hopefully call in sometime during this broadcast. Sorry here, but until then we can all get started. This is 5 Round MMA. Thank you all for joining us here on a podcast about mixed martial arts and some professional wrestling, because as we're knowing, as every week goes by, Albert, are not the two worlds just bleeding together. We're talking about the two again
every
this week.
single day.
They're just it's becoming as one now, especially with Cain Velasquez posting photos of him working out at the WWE Performance Center. We'll talk about that today too. Also got some New Japan Ring of Honor news, WWE Extreme Rules recap, UFC Boise recap, because we were off last week, and we'll start with round number 1. And Albert, get the timer started for me with who is Anthony Smith.
Say that again?
Anthony Smith.
Oh, okay.
He's 29 years old from Corpus Christi, Texas. Just knocked out Shogun Rua at UFC Hamburg, Germany this past Sunday. That's his second knockout win of a former UFC light heavyweight champion. He's coming off a win over Rashad Evans when he knocked him out UFC 225. After that, he called out after Alexander Gustafsson.
But then we heard Alexander Gustafsson is out.
I said, nope, don't even call me out, bro. I ain't answering. So I guess a little research here, because even when we knocked out Rashad Evans, I thought, okay, well, I mean, that's not really much saying much.
No.
So should fans be impressed by 2 back-to-back wins over 2 former champions who are on the decline? Big time for Anthony Smith. He's now 30-13. Or is this division just so light that any guy makes noise that, okay,
No, I think he got billed the way I think a lot of other fighters should be billed. We like to marry wrestling with MMA now, and you gotta have the squash matches that matter to build up a fighter these days. It's just ironically, it was Anthony Smith that got this role. He does have a win against Hector Lombard, okay, Rashad Evans, and Shogun Rua, which in 5 years ago, dude, you would probably be in contention with pound for pound the best fighter.
Yep.
But we're in 2018. All 3 of these fighters have struggled in every single bout that they've been in. All 3 of these fighters have struggled to stay in the UFC, in the mainstream, in contention for the belt. So with that said, I don't know who Anthony Smith is. I know that he has a 30-13 record. I know that doesn't look sexy. I know when you see 13 losses and it's not like
you don't see Hall of Famers in there.
Yeah, you don't see Mark Hunt's record.
Yeah.
It's hard to get behind a guy like that, especially when you really look at the previous wins he has had. You have to go all the way down to Josh Neer, maybe Roger Gracie, and he lost those fights. He won a fight against Josh Neer, but also lost one. But I mean, you gotta go really deep to find known fighters other than his more recent ones. So to tell you the truth is, I still don't know who Anthony Smith is, and I would have liked to see the Alexander Gustafsson fight, but
that's a real test, right?
Yeah, but we know that's not going to happen now. So looking at the light heavyweight division, this is the sad part. Looking at the lightweight division, there's only literally one person the guy can face to show where he's at, and it's Vulcan.
Yeah,
that's pretty much it. They were throwing out the name Jimmy Manuwa, but you know what? Jimmy Manuwa is in a tough position too.
Yeah.
I think he needs a fight against. He needs a rematch against Vulcan. That's the only person I can think of that will probably justify hit this guy in 205.
Yeah.
Other than that, I don't know who Anthony Smith is.
I mean, you have kind of guys like Alir Latif. You got OSP maybe out there. Maybe some tough guys.
Tough guys, but not. No way are they in contention for him.
Yeah, I mean,
let's not kid around. This light heavyweight is a garbage division now, and you have a bunch of fighters that aren't even established in this division.
Yeah, and also the co-main event of this card was Corey Anderson versus Glover Teixeira. Maybe he gets Corey Anderson. Maybe he gets Glover Teixeira, who's always a tough test. But I mean, for this guy to be calling out, yeah, you knocked out 2 former champions, but I mean, come on now. I mean, calling out Gustafsson was a good thing to do to see exactly where you're at, but I mean, we'll go from there. I guess we'll kind of see what's up with Anthony Smith. This card, again, if Anthony Smith knocks out Shogun Rua on a Sunday in Germany, nobody saw it. It didn't really happen. This is one of those random cards on a Sunday. I guess the UFC is trying to counter with, I guess, some World Cup fever maybe? People are like kind of on a Sunday watching
I guess that's what they're trying to count, but
Sunday afternoon at fights, I guess.
the crazy part is
in the summertime, people aren't going to be home really right now.
What to me was this is a big reminder to where MMA is at now. 5 years, 5 years ago, if you saw a card with Shogun Hua, Glover Teixeira, and Stephen Cervani, that's a stat card. Not only is it a stat card, I just listed some of the guys that can potentially be champions.
Yeah.
And now we're talking about guys that are on a Sunday card in Germany, and then they all lose their fights.
Yeah.
How crazy is that? Like, how crazy is the MMA game when you got 3 guys that 5-6 years ago were in title contention and now in a Sunday card and lose all their fights?
It also seems like there's a lack of star building in the UFC, right? Look at the division. The lightweight division, there's no stars in it anymore.
When's the last time we saw a Ultimate Fighter with the heavier divisions?
What's coming up next, but that's about it. But all these guys, they always win and they always drop down, right?
Yeah.
I think somebody commented on, like, I don't want to fight the Ultimate Fighter winner because they'll go down. They'll go down anyway. So we'll see. That's it for round number 1. We're going to come back and talk about last week's card. More specifically, Junior Dos Santos, see if he's a force to be working with in the heavyweight division. Do not go anywhere. Welcome back to time for round number 2. Albert, real quick, too. We live in Los Angeles, greater LA area. How are you feeling with the LeBron fever here? One specifically, I'm a LeBron hater, and I'm still coming to terms with him signing with the Lakers. I do like the death lineup.
Oh, dude, the death lineup is the only thing that gets me up at night.
Yeah.
First of all, I forgot what I was watching, and then it came up, and then I thought about it. I was like, wait a second. I love it. I love this death lineup. It's the only thing that excites me, and I wish there's somebody out there that could think of a good chant. So when at the Laker games, we can start chanting that death lineup to come up. Honestly, that's the only thing that really excites me. I want to see how that death lineup does against Golden State. But it's a struggle. I'll tell you this right now. It's really questioning if I have any type of commitment in my bones. Am I truly committed to something? It's the one time I'm being challenged here.
Yeah.
Because I hate LeBron James, but I love them Lakers. I mean, what people don't understand, Kobe left. Okay, it was hard to deal with, and I had to go through those 3 tough years, guys. You guys don't understand how hard those years were. I had to put up with a family full of Clipper fans, and day in, day out, they were trashing me, man. And I couldn't say anything. What am I gonna say? We had a trash ass team, and then now I can see the sun rising. I can see the other side of the grass. But it comes on the expense of going in LeBron James's bat.
Yeah. One thing I'm not cool with, which I think is all the murals that are getting painted, which are really cool, but also being defecated on.
Nah, yeah.
That's not cool, man.
Not cool.
The artists spend a lot of time.
Art, bro.
They're talented. They look good. But for these cowards to go out and spray paint or throw paint on them, that's not cool at all. Yeah. That's vandalism, and that's disrespect not only to Los Angeles local artists, but to the building, to all that stuff, man. So if you're a Laker fan and you're doing that, man, you're trash. You're garbage.
Exactly.
Get out of here.
Make your own mural.
Yeah, make your own mural. Yeah, exactly. Because that
if you don't like that mural.
You see that newest one where the guy did with LeBron looking at
and they're vandalized.
Magic,
Kareem. And they already vandalized that one.
Yeah, I was talking about, man. These guys are just trash. If you're not really fans at all. Like I said, with the time.
And I hate LeBron too, and I think you guys are
that's way too far. So let's get back to mixed martial arts here. Last week, UFC Boise took place. Man, Hamburg, from Boise to Hamburg, man, they're hitting everywhere on the map here. The UFC is, and this card was Junior Dos Santos was the main event. He ekes out a decision, a unanimous decision, but he defeats Balgoy Ivanov, pushing his record to 19-5. But he's also alternated wins and losses for the past 9 bouts Junior Dos Santos has. And after the fight, they kind of asked him what's next. He said, "Well, maybe a third match with Stipe Miocic might be in the works here." Do you remember one time a long time ago? Pre-USADA days, I'm kind of just maybe saying that through, or maybe pre-Cain Velasquez days when JDS
we're just stating facts.
Was the most dangerous man on the planet, but since he's lost to Cain Velasquez back at UFC 155 in 2012, he's alternated wins and losses out. But this guy cannot get on any type of streak whatsoever. He's been hurt, excuses here and there. He did get a title shot against Stipe Miocic, but he TKO'd in the very first round. with this decision win, I mean, where is he at now? Is he again just a lack of names? Is that why he's still up there? What's up with JDS? Can I take him seriously as a threat to the title? Just DC be shaking his boots?
100% no. You want to make a splash in this heavyweight division. You know who you got to play. You know you have to fight. You have to fight Curtis Blades, Francis Ngannou, Derek Lewis. Shoot, why don't you get that rematch with Alistair Overeem, and then we can talk.
Yeah.
In all honesty, he didn't look good at all. He fought a guy that was supposed to, I guess, be a little new person in the heavyweight division.
Former World Series of Fighting heavyweight champion.
Someone they can mix up in there, but it didn't seem like it turned out the way they wanted. So with that said, I think this heavyweight division is still in shambles. I think it still needs a savior in Brock Lesnar to inject a new facelift in this division. So no, I don't think this is anything for Junior Dos Santos. If anything, I'd rather see him face Mark Hunt again. I'd rather see him face Overeem again.
On a Sunday in Germany.
On a Sunday in Germany, in Sweden, wherever.
On the UFC Fight Pass.
In Europe, anywhere in Europe, France, wherever you want to put him.
Yeah, I mean, like, you want to say, yeah, this guy's back, but this is a lack of star building that the UFC has. I think, honestly, Albert, like you said, maybe in 3 to 5 years from now, this is really going to hurt the UFC because they keep bringing back Brock Lesnar's. They keep relying on the drama and John Jones. In the two most popular divisions, the light heavyweight division, and there's no stars emerging at all. I mean, they've brushed Francis Ngannou. Look what happened to him now. Now people are not taking him seriously at all. He's almost the butt of all the jokes now. He has 2 back-to-back poor performances. This poor guy was supposed to be the savior division. Now he's kind of in limbo. And JDS, I think he's far from removed from his title, his prestigious title days, and we'll see from there. But again, it's interesting to see what's the division back in 3-4 years, both of them, because there's no stars, and even on the horizon, do you see any stars in any division at all?
In all honesty, I go back to it. You need to have an Ultimate Fighter heavyweight.
Yeah. The
last Ultimate Fighter heavyweight I can think of are the last stars that kind of blossom. Kind of, I guess. You got the Roy Nelsons, the Brandon Schwabs that came out of there, and with them, fall along with a lot of other heavyweights. That's when you got Travis Brown, and all the other heavyweights following along. So you just got to do Ultimate Fighter, man.
Yeah. Or maybe don't, like, if you want to build an Anthony Smith, don't bury him on a Sunday in Hamburg, Germany.
Exactly.
In the middle of a summertime when people aren't usually at the beach. There's a World Cup hangover right now. Baseball's going on.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like,
baseball's heating up.
There's stuff. Don't bury these. If you want to build them, don't bury them on these random cards, these Fight Pass cards.
I had no. You know what's funny? I had no problem with Sage Northcutt being in this card.
Yeah. The Boise card. Yeah.
Yeah, because Sage Northcutt is still up and rising, and I think that he's a unique talent that you can put him in these cards and it doesn't hurt him.
Yeah.
For these other people where the division itself is suffering.
Yeah.
You need to put them on prime time.
Yeah.
That's how you keep it up.
And there's also there's a different type of fighter too. Sage Northcutt is very much a social media fighter, and I mean in a good way. Because his presence on social media is always around. People are always like he's either the butt of meme jokes or he's part of meme jokes. Tell
me that Mike Perry one isn't good. You ever seen the Mike Perry one?
Yeah, the Perry one is good. But there's such a thing as bad publicity.
Not yet.
So either when he's not on TV, he's on people's phones, he's on their laptop. Sage Northcutt has a presence. So like that, but Anthony Smith, he's not a presence online. So if you want to build these guys, you got to put them on TV where people are watching. That's it for round number 2. We're gonna come back and switch it up, talk about professional wrestling. We'll have a UFC Extreme Rules recap, and I want to ask Albert if marks are ruining the sport and entertainment in professional wrestling. But before that, I want to give a shout out to our biggest sponsor, one of our biggest sponsors, Mobilitas Mobility Tools. Mobility Tools, the best mobility tools on the planet, durable, portable, manufactured release products designed with more grip and better. With more grip to better restore muscle and to its original health. Sexy, supple, and luxurious designs. Use promo code FiveRoundMMA. It's the number 5RoundMMA for 20% off your order. And also a big thank you to 5 Rounds Clothing. 5 Rounds offers a unique collection of MMA apparel and accessories. They incorporate the culture, style, and attitude of mixed martial arts. They are constantly evolving and improving to become the best fightwear company possible in the MMA world. Check out their check out their line of hoodies, hats, t-shirts, and other great accessories at 5rounds.clothing. That's 5rounds.clothing. Follow them on Twitter at 5roundswear and on Instagram at 5rounds_. Get it on. Round 3 coming up next. Welcome back. Time for round number 3. So last week, WWE Extreme Rules took place, and the main event was, not the main event, but the feature card on the bout was Seth Rollins versus Dolph Ziggler in an Iron Man match. I think it was the main event, right?
Yeah, it was the main event.
As you know, there are I wish Guillermo was here because there are wrestling fans like Guillermo who are casual, want to be entertained, and then there are the marks who this is real. Needs to be taken seriously. This is a lifestyle. This is 100% live, breathe professional wrestling. I'm on it 24/7 with everything that the wrestlers tweet. This is real. Extreme, hardcore. We want wrestling and entertainment secondary to the product in the ring, right?
Yes.
And we had a conversation a couple weeks ago that it did not get any better in the ring right now on WWE Raw than Dolph Ziggler and Seth Rollins. So what did they do? WWE gave us Seth Rollins versus Dolph Ziggler, 30-minute Iron Man match, and what happened? The live audience shit all over it, right? To a point where they're saying they're counting down every 10 seconds at the top of or the bottom of every minute, right? So Albert, you're a mark. I'm a mark.
I'm a super mark.
What's going on here? What do you want?
I want it all. Is what I want. I want it all. And you know what? To tell you the truth.
Do you agree with what happened in the crowd?
No, you know what? I think it was just frustration. People forget too. WWE puts on long shows. I mean, we're talking about before even what they call it now, the pre-card or the whatever they call it before the actual main card. It's a long show, and I think frustration builds too. And I think this is not the first time I think Seth has gotten the wrong end of the stick for match shows. I think even with Finn Balor, he got a little bit of
when he hurt him.
Yeah, so it just sucks that they get put in that position. But I want to say, just like the Iron Man match, the fans were reached a point of frustration, I think, because the match was good. It was solid. It wasn't the best damn match I ever seen, or the best, not even the best Seth and Dolph Ziggler match I've seen. But I think that was uncalled for. I think that was unfair. But at the same time, you have to. I think the best wrestlers adapt to that.
Yeah.
I don't think Seth Rollins and Dolph Ziggler did a good job adapting to the crowd, starting the chant and kind of throwing them off. I think the best wrestlers kind of play into that. We seen like people like Chris Jericho turn a chant into something. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's playing to the crowd, not catering to them. Kind of giving them what they want, or just kind of also I think there's a thin line between reacting to the crowd and then making them react to how you want to react to them.
Again, just before I lose my thought.
Yeah.
The other thing too that we talked off camera too that frustrated me is like, whose idea was it even to put the damn clock?
Yeah.
If I remember the Bret Hart versus Shawn Michaels, there was no clock.
I think it was like
for the fans at least to keep track of. I thought that's dumb. You have a ref in there for a reason. Isn't the ref supposed to dictate to the wrestlers where they're at as far as the match?
Yeah.
And with that said, it's like why even set yourself up like that?
Yeah.
Everybody knows when the Royal Rumble hits. What's one of the big pops that happen? The countdown. Yeah. But come on now, I think somebody should have known better than to put the time like that.
There are 12 matches on the Extreme Card rules. That's that's the that's including the kickoff show. But people got to park, they got to get their seat, concession stand, souvenir stand. They're probably drinking some. It is a long day. It's a commitment to go to one of these shows. But I mean, I don't know. It's a wrestling fan. You give them what they want, and they don't like it. You don't give them what they want, and they complain about it. This is the plight of the wrestling fan, especially online anyways.
But I do want to point out too, people were saying online, if you read the dirt sheets, that Seth Rollins still got standing ovations from the crowd, despite the rudeness of the crowd, I guess you could say.
He sent out a tweet too. Did you see his tweet?
No.
It was just 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That was it.
Nice trolling.
AJ Styles defeats Rusev in a kind of a placeholder, I guess.
Again, see, this is the thing that frustrates me. Yeah. This match would have been a good leadway into the Seth Rollins match.
Yeah.
If you would have pumped up the crowd with that match, and I think that match was flat too.
Yeah.
But I think that was the setup. You have 12 matches, but you have a setup, a setup match.
Yeah. I agree. I think the match placement was a little off, but people were complaining that Rusev basically got buried. He's a throwaway pay-per-view.
I think in every match he's a throwaway.
Why is that? Do you think? Why is he just kind of like?
It's one of those things. I don't know. Again, as much podcasts I listen to as far as wrestling, and you hear all these wrestlers how the politics aren't, the fans make the politics. It's not really as bad as you think. People aren't walking on eggshells back there, especially when you talk to a lot of wrestlers. But then you see people that get themselves over. Rusev got himself over, and it honestly feels like the company doesn't like when the wrestler got themselves over, and it wasn't a product of the company that got them over. And it's almost like they, instead of getting embraced and getting the push, they get penalized for it. And we've seen this time and time again. What's his name? Zack Ryder's the most famous one. He got a 3-month push and then get back in line.
Yeah.
Just to shut up the crowd. The only one that was successful was Daniel Bryan. And even then, how did they spin it? Oh, that was our deal all along.
Yeah.
Oh, we put Daniel Bryan in that position. He didn't do it. We put him in the position.
It was
Come
all
on now.
master plan long.
Exactly. So I think honestly that's what I mean. I hate to sound like that conspiracy mark, but it's the truth. Come on. I think Rusev managed to get himself over, and I think this is his punishment.
Yeah, it seems like the WWE, they don't want any one guy to be a star anymore. They
want the company to be the star.
They don't want a Rock. They don't want a Stone Cold. Because those guys are going to leave, or those guys can carry a lot of leverage with them. And now, if we have a bunch of mid-level guys who are kind of popular but not popular, then we will be okay. The product's not going to be great, but people are still showing. Honestly, you put WrestleMania on the billboard, people are going to show up.
Yeah, regardless of the card.
Regardless of who's on the card.
Yeah.
This is why the cards suck every year.
Yeah.
Because you put WrestleMania on there, people will
You're going for the even the way they sell it. Come to the WrestleMania experience.
Yeah.
Come join the WrestleMania experience.
Yeah.
The week-long attraction we got. And then secondary is just to let you know, it's Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar.
Yeah, just so you guys know. And it's going to be 6 hours long.
Yeah.
So, I mean, this is the age we live in now, and but these are the guys, they keep going to WWE because this is where I want to be. Obviously because the paycheck's good.
Yeah.
But as far as you being a star, I don't think you're never going to be another Rock. You're never going to be, not because you can't, but I think because the company won't let you. And like you said, if you get yourself over, you're at the mercy of the writers and the creative team, and this is what happens. Yeah, AJ Styles is doing great, but AJ Styles was never projected to be a Rock or Austin.
How is the what do you call them? The ex-members of Bray Wyatt's crew. What are they called?
Family, the Bludgeon Brothers.
How are the Bludgeon Brothers getting this push right now? You know why? Because the company designed their look. The company designed
their outfit, their name,
and guess what? And they're in the forefront of this push. When it's like, dude, no one cares about the Bludgeon Brothers. No one cares about seeing them wrestle. And there's other tag teams that excite people. There's other tag, but you know what? This is what the company wants to we designed this.
Yeah.
Now,
Also on this card too, look at a guy who's pretty much as self-made as independent as you get, Jeff Hardy. What's his trajectory in WWE? Up, down, up, down. He's had questionable booking his whole WWE career, right?
Oh, yep.
And this is a guy who got himself over with the face paint, his own charisma, the way he moves. I guarantee you, nobody's in the back. All right, Jeff, you go and you tweak out like that. That's all on his own, right?
Yeah.
And he gets up. Yeah, granted, he does have substance abuse problems.
Yeah.
That we can't really put faith in the guy, but still. Up, down, up, down, up, down. Until I'm out of here anyways. I don't even need this stuff. I'm going to go back and forth. Oh, we can't trust him now. But this guy gets himself over. If you get yourself over, you're going to be a mid-level guy.
Yeah.
Dolph Ziggler, it's just like that's the age we live in now. That's WWE for you now. So which makes it very refreshing. Going to be our next round here after the break. The guys on the Indies and combining using these wrestlers using the promotion to get themselves over. Cody Omega, Young Bucks. Cody Rhodes using New Japan and Ring of Honor to join forces, which is coming up next. So do not go anywhere and talk about in the fourth round coming up next. Welcome back. Time for round number 4. So it was announced a couple weeks ago that Ring of Honor and New Japan Professional Wrestling will join forces and to have a super show of sorts over WrestleMania weekend next year in 2019. That's not... super shows, but other brands have done that before. Back in the 80s when Hulkamania was running wild. Crockett Promotions, AWA, WCCW, they joined together for the Super Clash to kind of combat WrestleMania and Hulkamania. They failed miserably. So this isn't the first time that other promotions have kind of joined together, but this is saying something because Ring of Honor and New Japan are joining forces to put on a show WrestleMania weekend in WWF's home, Madison Square Garden.
Woo, and I think if you read the dirt sheets, WWE was making a big deal about them trying to do this card that they even threatened Madison Square Gardens about having their matches there and stuff like that. So it's a big deal.
Yeah, well, I mean, 'cause I guess there's been kind of a cantankerous relationship between Madison Square Garden and WWE over the past couple of years, where you don't see too many pay-per-views anymore in Madison Square Garden. They're all at the Barclays Center in Brooklyn, just because it's too much money, I think, to rent out Madison Square Garden or something like that. So WWE's they're taking their business elsewhere. Why can't Madison Square Garden take in other resident business? That makes sense. So I mean.
And keep in mind just the history alone.
Yeah.
Because didn't WWE make their bread and butter in New York? That was their territory.
That's territory, yeah.
That was their spot.
Well, suppose Mixed Man has his own parking spot, his own office in Madison Square Garden. So, like, it's his arena, even probably over the Knicks and the Rangers. So, as a fan, are you excited for this Ring of Honor?
Oh, I'm super excited. To me, it made too much sense because they share their biggest stars, ROH and New Japan, share a lot of superstars that are in the top level of both companies, and it was just a matter of it was just a no-brainer. I think the fact that Ring of Honor already has good roots here in the United States just makes it easier for a setup in all New Japan has to do is just ship over the roster.
Yeah, I want to ask you this too. So, like, obviously, for a long time, New Japan has been, an option, for a hardcore option for wrestling fans to watch. Oh, this guy watches Japan, he knows his stuff, right?
Yeah.
And the past couple of years, when Kenny Omega really got on fire, where it's kind of bled over into mainstream, where you see a lot more of it on social media. Obviously, the New Japan World website is great because you can catch up, you can watch more stuff here now too. And they're bleeding into, they're having a couple shows now in the United States. There's going to be another one in the East Coast now as opposed to the West Coast. But do you think New Japan is kind of getting the taste for the North American market? Because I want a current list of all the champions right now. The IWGP Heavyweight Champion, Kenny Omega. IWGP Intercontinental Champion, Chris Jericho. IWGP United States Champion, Juice Robinson. IWGP Tag Team Champions, the Young Bucks. That's a lot of non-Japanese wrestlers.
Yeah, that's actually
right?
American wrestlers.
Or North American wrestlers.
Well, yeah,
some Canadians, yeah.
Yeah, Canadians. But that's what I mean, Americas.
Yeah.
I'm like those type of guys that when I say America, I mean
USA.
United States. I mean Americas.
Yeah. Never open weight 6-man tag. It's super villains Marty Scurll, Matt Jackson, and Nick Jackson. That's a lot of guys who aren't Japanese who are holding the top belts in New Japan.
Yeah.
Is that because they want to come to the United States?
Yeah.
And showcase
They just,
North America, Mexico, and obviously Canada as well.
No, yeah, they just recently got a new president, I think, in New Japan, and he made it known that is the next phase for New Japan is the North American market.
Yeah.
And why not? Why not? I've always said, why do we have to accept vanilla when there's other flavors out there? And I have no problem with having some pistachios every now and then. The vanilla is always going to be there. Right? And I think they're doing it smart too. I think it'll be ridiculous for them to keep trying to do consistent booking. I think they've been doing a good job.
Yeah.
Long Beach sold out twice. The Cal Palace sold out as well. They had a wonderful turnout. All I saw on social media was their event. I didn't see nothing else that other wrestling companies were doing that was taking over the social media. It was pretty much everything that was going on with New Japan. So I think they've been doing it the smart way, and now they're teaming up. I think this is smart too. And to tell you the truth, knowing WWE, who likes to take a good idea and make it their own, is mark my words, but it feels like that's what they're going to. Maybe not the main WWE, but
NXT or what?
Yeah, don't be surprised if you see NXT versus New Japan. Do not be surprised, or put up something.
Impact on Pop.
Yeah, don't be surprised because WWE is known to take good ideas, steal them, and make them their own. And it's one of those things that's hard not to notice and not to see. Like, you know what? That's not that bad.
Yeah.
Because as long as WWE's in the forefront, who cares where the roster's coming from,
true.
right?
And also too, it doesn't make sense for New Japan because obviously just by geographically, the West Coast is closer to Japan, but they are partnering up with Ring of Honor, who is an East Coast company.
Yeah.
And there's been a lot of knock for Ring of Honor for kind of
never wanting to go over that hill.
They have been what they are for 15 plus years, and it's been moderately successful. They have never had a national TV audience or TV deal. They've just been kind of really successful as is. I want to say regional because they're only in the East Coast.
Yeah.
They sometimes bid over to the West Coast, the Midwest, but they're primarily an East Coast company who's had some kind of moderate success with the syndication on the East Coast. I mean, I don't even know if you can find them here on the West Coast at all.
I don't even know if they still show them on, what is it?
It used to be on DirecTV, but now I don't know what it is now. But so,
Access TV?
Yeah, I think give them credit because remember I think didn't they reached out to for the All In for the Young Bucks and Cody Rhodes card, but they said no. So NWA's helping them out. So give credit to them for kind of at least going out there and seeing like, you know what, maybe working together we can take on the WWE and take on this blandness, this corporate kind of structure with this kind of recycled product that the WWE keeps feeding out because you know what, they can. Because who cares?
By the way, this BC Firing Squad storyline, amazing.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's it for round number 4. I know we kind of go over here. We're talking longer about wrestling, but it's bleeding over here. We got one more round coming next, and it's Cain Velasquez joining pro wrestling, and who else or who should follow in MMA to pro wrestling in Ronda Rousey's footsteps, not going anywhere. Welcome back to 5th and final round. You guys say, Alex Albert, you guys used to be all MMA, man. What is this pro wrestling talk here? Like I said at the start of the show, man, these two worlds are bleeding together. Primary example, again, evidence this week, Cain Velasquez posted photos of himself training at the WWE Performance Center, learning some moves at the NXT instructors, Norman Smiley, I think was
were
there.
They good moves? I mean, for all you marks out there, try doing that front roll.
Headlock, front roll, right? All that good
Try
stuff.
it. Try you marks. That was some good stuff.
So what do you mean? What do you make from here? Is this Cain Velasquez running away from MMA, or is this maybe a post-MMA career move for Cain Velasquez?
I think he's 35.
Yeah.
He's
hurt.
He's been how long? Let me look up his last fight was in 2016, 2 years ago.
Yeah. With no real announcement coming anytime soon, right?
I honestly think Cain Velasquez has 2 fights in him.
Yeah.
That's it. I think he wants one high caliber match and then maybe a title shot, and then he's looking at something else. It's just one of those things where, like, if the opportunity is hot and ready, why not take it?
Talking in wrestling, right?
Talking in wrestling, and I'm talking about pro wrestling. Cain has done everything you can do in mixed martial arts. He is a former champion. He was the main man. He was the guy, right? So I don't see why not test the waters. And that's the one thing about wrestling. I think the way it's set up now, especially thanks to Brock Lesnar and now Ronda Rousey's success, is they can take risk on these other MMA fighters. And who's to say, okay, fine, Cain Velasquez doesn't want to necessarily hang up the gloves yet, but why not feature him in two events? Why not?
I'm talking about WWE.
WWE, yeah. Why not have him come out in a couple of Raw leading up to SummerSlam or whatever it is,
Royal Rumble,
and then let him train and do his thing? He isn't the type of guy I think that you can have for every event, every live event, every Raw. He's not the type of guy. But I think the way the industry is structured now, it can work, and I think it makes perfect sense. These type of guys, I think you get tired of.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think it's an amazing idea. I think what WWE needs to do is send out that open invitation to more guys to come out and train. And worst case, you get a good picture of a high caliber MMA fighter training at your facility.
Yeah.
And you have the social media buzzing all on. I mean, when I saw Cain Velasquez on the ring, I mean, my fingers couldn't share fast enough. I was sharing everybody.
Yeah.
Bah, 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 bah. And that's I mean, you see Alistair Overeem in the ring.
Yeah.
You gonna tell me you're not gonna click on that?
Yeah.
Come on now.
Yeah.
So I don't see anything bad about this.
It makes sense because obviously it's gonna, like, you have somebody who's a high caliber athlete like Cain Velasquez, a combat sports athlete, doesn't get any tougher than that.
Yeah.
Saying, hey, I'm in the wrestling ring and what a workout, that was tough. It only justifies what the guys do
Exactly.
every day. He's already a star.
What they've always been saying.
Yeah.
We're high caliber athletes out here. Don't think anything different.
So if you're WWE, man, work with these guys. We'll work around your fight schedule. We can do it here. But then again, it's only been one guy who hasn't been done that. That's Brock Lesnar. We haven't even seen Ronda Rousey even maybe tease the fact that he wants to come out and fight yet. But who knows that? But okay, so you got Rousey, we got Brock Lesnar going back and forth. We had guys like Bobby Lashley on a smaller level in Bellator, Impact, and now in the WWE now. Who should or who do you think will follow in Cain Velasquez's footsteps? And I'm gonna give wrestling a shot. My one is DC. He's already teased it.
I think that's
he
perfect.
tweeted out some wrestling moves on an episode of Tough. I think he the tough filming that he's body slamming people, so he's already teasing it already.
Yeah.
I mean, he can talk already. That's a natural, I think, transition. You think?
Wonderful on the mic. I think I think DC follows his friend Cain Velasquez onto the ring. Even just think about that tag team right there, DC and Cain Velasquez doing a little tag team. Man, all I can think was all these crazy matchups he can do with these guys and what wrestlers can work good with them. And I mean, DC seems to be a natural fit.
Alistair Overeem just looks like he could,
Yeah, the come on the Reem. Even though I don't think the Reem would ever.
I think he's too
proud of his.
He's too above that.
Yeah, Travis Brown as teased it, but I don't think he has the look to it.
Yeah.
But then you also have people like Sage Northcutt. I think he would somehow kill it. Believe it or not, I think he would kill it in the ring.
How about I'm staying with my AKA? How about Luke Rockhold, man?
Yeah, but I think
a new pretty boy like that, pretty boy champion.
Yeah,
Come on.
but I think he's in the same boat as all. I think he's too proud to do pro wrestling.
That you could be like a modern day like Heartbreak Kid type of thing. You know what I mean? Still your girl type of.
He sure does have the looks. Sure
That's
does.
For round number 5. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. We missed Guillermo Cito this week, but hopefully we catch him on a future episode. I want to thank the rest of our sponsors for the Diazine supplements with Morals products that promote the active lifestyle, improve athletic performance, and provide health benefits. Follow them on Twitter and Instagram at Diazyme and visit diazyme.com. BCAAs. Protein, all that good stuff, whey protein, Diazine supplements. Also, Girl Gang Wraps hand wraps and clothing. Girl Gang Wraps was created for the girl that practices martial arts but also likes making a fashion statement. Fight gear for the fight babe, fight like a girl, and badass apparel. Follow them on Instagram and Twitter at Girl Gang Wraps and visit girlgangwraps.com. And a big, huge thank you, shout out for the continued support of FightBookMMA.com, the only place you'll find real combat news from all over the world. They cover all combat sports, kickboxing, boxing, Muay Thai, MMA, BJJ, all the promotions. If you want it reported there, you want it accurate, go to FightBookMMA.com. Follow them on all forms of social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, bookmark FightBookMMA.com. And a big shout out to the Dos Leprechauns podcast. I know Jason Hendricks had some hating words for Cain Velasquez in the WWE ring here, but he knows.
He's a hater.
He knows if Roman Reigns versus Cain Velasquez, he's rooting for Cain Velasquez to come and win that. Believe that, big dog. Dos Leprechauns podcast, Notre Dame football, professional wrestling, mixed martial arts, MLB, NBA, NFL, all that good stuff on one roof. Leprechaun Nate, Leprechaun Jason, give it to you real. Dos Leprechauns podcast. Look them up on all forms of social media, and of course, follow us on social media. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram and Twitter at FiveRoundMMA. That's FIVE Round MMA. Visit FiveRoundMMA.com. Like us on Facebook. Subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts, Podomatic, and YouTube. Apple, what do you got?
I just want to apologize for last week's episode with all that technical difficulties. But what I do want to say is, when we mess up, let us know. I want to hear you guys talk trash. Tell me that's the only way we step it up.
Yeah.
You don't like it? Let me know you don't like it.
We resting on laurels way too much here.
Exactly. So let me know. And guess what? Dolph Ziggler sucks. And for all you marks out there, Dolph Ziggler sucks. Like, I can't work. He's garbage.
Wow. That came out of nowhere. See you next week on that one, buddy.
Thanks for tuning in.